we go 6-2. But as we're going 6-2, 7-3 in the last 10, the only team to beat the two best teams that won their divisions, we're the only team to do that. So now we're flowing. Now we're feeling it. He goes down with Tommy John. Can't pitch to save his life. He goes down with a broken finger. So you know what these two jokers do? No problem. I'm going to get 20 a game. I'm going to get 11 a game and shoot 71%. And we're going to keep on fighting. And now, sort of like the Jaguars losing those close games like we did in the early part, like they're going to do, we flip the script. And now we start winning those close games. And next thing you know, we have an opportunity.
All right, year 14, you got 84% scoring, 81% scoring. You got a lot of minutes back. I mean, You got to like that, the comfortability, not only for those guys, for you, but you for them, right?
Yes, and I think a couple of the things that we really are looking at is, number one, we really defended well, even with that inexperience. On the flip side, the thing we're really always been really good at, we weren't very good at. So you hope now with the experience, we're back to being really good. So if you marry those two things together, rebound the ball a little bit better, now you know why I feel like we're always filling up the cup, and we're always filling up the cup. And to these guys, to their credit, think about this. Dorian's been with us now 5 years, Carter 5 years. Jose is now in his 5th year. Jarius is in his 4th year. Jaden, Jonathan, Chaz, they're all 3-year guys. So we do have some guys that have been around, and because of that, doesn't matter what every year the league's good. Every year you could go right down the list and say this team, that team, when there's 8 teams or 14 teams. It's still, you have to win games that are in front of you, and then most importantly, look for that home floor. And then once you get that home floor, then the tournament, I mean, you saw last year, the 2 best teams lost at home, right? So, you know, that's what I love about our league.
You give us a guy or two that you look at maybe taking a big step. I mean, we know what Carter's all about, Jose when he's healthy. We know some of these guys.
And Jarius, too, showed he was all leg down the stretch.
And he took a step last
20,
year. So
20 a game when those guys were out. That was pretty good.
You're seeing it behind the scenes. You got somebody that you're kind of smiling quietly about?
Yes, I think there's 2 guys in particular that I really think in Jonathan and Jaden as a tandem have really grown. They've really matured. They've really understood. They're actually starting to know the nuances a whole lot more now than they've had in the past about, oh, okay, this is what this looks like. And then the other one is Chaz and Oscar. Like, those 2 guys specifically, Oscar can really, really, really shoot the ball. Chaz has really been explosive. I think he's come out a little bit. We saw it in spurts, right? Like Florida Gulf Coast at home. Like, he puts it on his shoulder, hits the 3, gets to the rim, and basically wins the game down the stretch. So I'm really excited about those particular people. And when you have a 3-headed monster like we have with Carter and Jose and Jarius, guys that have not only put it in the books but have the ability to get 30, and now you add those other complementary guys around, I'm telling you, I think it bodes well for us. We just have to stay healthy and remain hungry and not allow the non-conference to do anything except allow us to remain hungry.
Well, speaking of the non-conference, 2, 3, 4 in the country, I know you got, obviously there's a money part of this, right? And we've talked about it for years and
That's
years.
the reason.
I get it. But do the guys like it still as much as we used to say they like it? Get a chance to play the Gonzagas, the Kentuckys, those kind of teams? Because it used to be a thing. It's like, hey, that's a good recruiting tool, right? You're going to go play them. Is that still a thing? I mean, they play so much AAU basketball. They play great competition. Does it still mean something to go up against that kind of competition?
Well, Under Armour doesn't make diapers, so we've got to make sure that these guys embrace it. And they've always been exciting. As a matter of fact, they thought Grand Canyon last year, in and of itself, the environment. And you're talking about Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and you know, I mean, those are pretty neat places to play. And they thought Grand Canyon was just unbelievable. And you go to UCLA and all those places. So Gonzaga, you know, the Kennel, you see it on TV, and could have been number 1, number 2, just depending on where they're at. And then, you know, Houston's sold out already. They're going to the Big 12, and Calvin Sampson's done a really nice job with consistency. And Kentucky's Kentucky, but also, too, Washington. You know, a neat place to play up there. And obviously being in Seattle, no Dunkin' Donuts, I'm excited about that. And then we got 2 trips back to my hometown, not purposefully, only because of money. You know, I can get a flight anytime I want through home, but, you know, because of money, we got Pitt and Duquesne. So I think the guys really do still, and they still talk about it. We still talk about it with them. Our 6 guys that are overseas playing professional, like they still communicate with it, and that's something that's really important, Brent, as we've gotten here for 14 years, is those guys have played such a big role with our guys because they're coming back in the summer, they're around them, they're touching them, they're communicating with them, and that really helps, especially during those tough times and playing these games. I can remember we played Memphis, and we got like handed to us. And Tariq Black was a man's man, and Bebe was a freshman, and Bo was a freshman. And Bebe said to Jerron in the back of the bus, he's like, oh my goodness. And Jerron just turned and went, oh, don't worry about it. We got another one tomorrow. Don't worry about it. So I think those guys' experience and that understanding, I think these guys really embrace that.